Okay, I hope that's okay that we're recording. And let me just see what the chat says. Is this the meeting session? Yes,
Yes.
Kate, it is. Are you still there, Kate? I hope. Okay. All
Yes,
right.
thank you.
Oh, good, 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 good. Okay.
Oh, Patty's on. That's good.
Yep. All right. We're really, really glad to see you all. And would you like to start?
Well, I just welcome. I'm not sure if they can see the slide deck or not.
Oh,
but we are going to use the slide deck just as to guide our talking points. And we have a really fully developed agenda, lots of titles and things. So let me go to that next section. We're going to start off with welcome and introductions, and then we'll have background details, next steps. And I'm Melissa, and I am so happy to be co-chairing with the wonderful Virginia Kennedy.
And vice versa. Could you please send me back the PowerPoints and then I can do a share screen?
I will be back in a minute to do that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think that's the only way to do it, really. Okay. So let's go around and just everybody say hi and introduce yourselves. Amber, would you mind
I'm
starting?
Amber Bouchard from the University of Laverne.
Okay, thank you.
Sarah McDaniel from CCTE.
Okay, Derek. Okay. Oh, the real one. Okay, very nice. Nice to actually see you.
Eric Engel from Cal State East Bay.
Grace Cho from Cal State Fullerton.
John McFarland, Penn State.
Yes, I get Virginia Kennedy, Cal State Northridge, and then Melissa.
I am at Riverside and San Bernardino County Offices of Ed.
Okay.
Students strike 2 counties now.
All righty, and then if we could have the folks, I see Patricia first. Would you, who's a member of our committee?
Hi, Patty Kirsch from National University.
Thank you. Alan, say hello to everybody, please.
Greetings, everyone. Alan Hollis from the Riverside County Office of Education.
All right, very good. Zoe. Hello.
Hey, Dr. Zoe from Dominican University. Glad to be here, guys. Hi.
Great. Good morning, Patricia. Do you want to say anything? Patricia Brown, I mean? Yeah?
Hi, everyone. I'm tech support, so let me know if you need anything.
Tech support, and then also Sarah Thomas, our tech support. Thank you both. Yes. And then Alan Jones, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
We're doing great. Wish you were here. Let's see, Marissa Lopez.
Good morning, Marissa Lopez, UC Merced.
Thank you. Kate Murray, go ahead, please.
Hey there. Good morning, Kate Murray, Loyola Marymount University.
Okay, thank you. Hi, Diana.
Good morning. This is Diana Taylor from Mount St. Mary's University.
Okay, good morning, Diana. I think that's everybody. All right, great.
Get them in a minute.
All right. So then should I just start with?
Yeah, we're gonna, yeah.
All right, very good. So today's meeting is to introduce to what's called now the Professional Development for Master Teachers Project. It was originally called the Intersegmental Project. It was started by Sharon Russell, who was at the time the president and then past president of Cal Council. And she formed a committee and had folks help her with coming up with a let's say a product really that is a curriculum for coaching, for training coaches, mentor teachers, coaches, supervisors, those kinds of folks. And so it was it's been available now excuse me, for 3 years. And then recently we decided, well, there's a committee. Grace is on the committee. Melissa is on the committee. I'm on the committee. Okay.
Patricia.
Oh, and right here, Patricia.
And Keith.
And Keith Walters from Cal Baptist.
Cal Baptist.
Yes. Are on the committee as well. So recently, after Sharon Russell retired, then Jo Birdsell took over. You may know her from, she was at CTC for a while, and then down at Point Loma. Then, and then now she's retired. And so Melissa and I are the co-chairs of the project. So we're very happy to have that. It was renamed PD4MT last year because even though that's, maybe it doesn't ring a bell for everybody, but it's shorter to say than Intersegmental Project. So that's what that is all about. And so people have been using it now in their programs, teacher education programs, mostly in general education, for those several years. Right now we have about 40 institutions that use this course. We call it a course now, and we have it, recently we switched to a different company, I guess you would say, for the course. And so we have learned how that works as well. The content is continually and continuously upgraded, added, new things are added.
And made accessible.
And made accessible. You're right, that's right. That is our current project, is captioning the video. So
Yeah.
we have videos embedded in many things and many aspects, and some of them are YouTube, so they already are pre-captioned, but then some of them are not. So we are figuring out, we are just growing in leaps and bounds about how to caption things. So we want to make sure everything is accessible to everyone.
So if I could
Yes.
interrupt.
Yes.
So Virginia's going to switch over. She's going to get the slides up so that our virtual friends can join us. And I'm going to, I think I'm going to advance the slide here in the main room. So let's go ahead.
Is it that
Let's
one or
see.
this one?
Go ahead and check your email.
Oh,
if you
I have
would,
to start
for-
there.
yeah.
Okay.
And
That
I'll
will
go
be-
ahead and advance this.
All right.
All right. So what's one important element that underscores this work is the importance of the supervisors and the mentor teachers. And we know that this training for mentor teachers and supervisors is within the standards, and up and down the state, we know that folks, whether it be for resources, where they need to spend their time or where they choose to spend their time, that this can be a great service to them, that they know that they've got something and they're not perhaps when they have new mentor teachers perhaps coming in every quarter or every semester, they have a way to support them and meet the requirements. So I think it's first about supporting those supervisors and mentor teachers, and then perhaps secondly, meeting the requirement that those 10 hours are there. So then, as Virginia said, making sure, and as Eric added, the accessibility. And then we want to talk about today also, as we think about our new body of work with the credentials switching over also with even the TPA and the connection there. So we want to cover that as well. So,
I don't see it yet in the email.
okay. I
Did it
just
come
sent it.
Your Gmail? Oh,
I'm not logged into Zoom. We drop every bit. Oh, no, we wouldn't. Yeah.
You could just
Okay, let's
log
see if
into Zoom.
Virginia can get, yeah. Okay, so do you want to go ahead with this?
yes.
Okay, and I will watch for the email.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
All righty. So as you're probably aware, CTC program standards have required for several years now that a mentor teacher complete 10 hours of preparation for their role. Okay, and we do broadly define mentor teacher because we now know it's used in various ways for other kinds of coaches, university supervisors, as well as on-site supervisors, even induction a bit.
Keep going. I'm just gonna keep going.
So the task force that we are part of was established by CCTE, and as I was saying, an online course was developed. Okay, and now we still have an online course. It continues to grow and be updated, so it meets the standard that you all are familiar with, called Coaching Adult Learners, Content-Specific Pedagogy and Instructional Practices in 8 hours. And as Melissa was saying, the total is supposed to be 10 hours. We interpret that as 2 hours for the individual institutions and programs to fill the way they want to. The task force is now a committee of CCTE, yes, and we meet as a committee 3 times a year. And if you, we are sending out our minutes and so forth, so you can see the kinds of things. So we're always open to input. So that's what this meeting is about as well, is your input. We're really, really eager about that. And your questions about other things we might be doing moving forward. Okay. Now
I'm going to join over here. So if you just keep going, I think I'm going to be okay.
all right. So I go back to my PowerPoint. Oh, I don't have that one up though. That's the
No,
problem.
yeah, so just stay here.
Okay. Can you go over
I'm
to it?
getting.
Oh, okay. All right. All righty. So, right. So I already said a little bit about the top one, the 2 hours, and actually what I want to talk about today as far as the 2 hours is especially looking at education specialist programs, because that is a new requirement for the ed specialist programs, and some suggestions that we have about what you could do with those 2 hours. Then the charge is $100 for an academic year for an institution. So there's no limit to the number of mentor teachers you can enroll. Yeah, it's not a profit making. 100, well, every year, yes, every year, yes, yearly. So, and the way it's handled now is you can go directly to the ccte.org website. There's a pull down under, I'd have to go back and look, orgs.
Well, so the way that if you were responsible for CCTE membership at your institution, you will get an email from Alan which says pay your dues, and under that there's the option to add.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I don't know if folks could hear Eric.
Oh, all right.
So if I could ask you again.
Sure. So who's ever in charge of your institution of CCTE membership, you get an email that has the membership charge, and you can add this. And there's a couple of other add-ons in terms of additional members. So it's all done at the same time as your institution renews its membership.
Yes. Okay.
Just make sure that whoever pays that knows to check that
Right.
extra $100.
Right. Which of course is not a lot of money. So it's good because then we don't have to charge the individual mentor teachers, for that training or anything like that. So, and different universities, different programs do it in different ways, which we can mention as we go along. All right. And then for each program, a liaison will be identified, a contact person. And that person is enrolled as the instructor of the course, but other instructors can be added. So instructor means that you will be the person who is the liaison with the committee, with us. And we have this wonderful person named Christine Lamb who handles all the content and actually a lot of the conversation and communication with the different programs. So that's one thing the instructor does. The other thing is the instructor helps the people get, the mentor teachers get added to it. We have, there's a bit of introduction about how to get added. You'll get if you're the instructor, that means you're not actually teaching it, but you are the one that's getting everybody organized to get onto the course, okay? And then you can refer questions to this person, Christine Lamb. You'll have information from her. Okay, so the students, we call them students, but they're actually not your students. They're the mentor teachers that you're using, who complete the course, receive at the end a course completion badge and a certificate of completion. Okay, it is their responsibility, and we say this right at the end of it, to share it with your program. Okay, and different programs have it different ways. They have one university has a portfolio and they want you to, they want the mentor teachers to put the certificate into their individual portfolio. Another one has a Dropbox, you know, so on and so forth. So different universities arrange it different ways, but that's how they can tell that the 8 hours have been completed. Okay.
So what we didn't ask yet, but we'd like to know, we knew that we anticipated that we'd have a mix of folks in this meeting, both face-to-face and virtual. And we wondered at this point what your questions are. What were your wonderings? Of course, for folks who have been part, we want to connect with what like the user needs are. But then for folks who maybe haven't been part of this work, what were your wonderings? What can we answer? We have some, I'm going to change slide decks here in a minute, but so could I just ask and find out what your,
How is it housed?
how is it housed? Great question. I am going to advance a couple slides. So it is housed on a proprietary platform, which we do a contract for. And let's see here. This is just a screenshot of what the interface looks like. And folks online, I will get that for you. There's, let's see, there's, okay. So like most LMSs, I mean, it is an LMS. And so there's a left-hand navigation, there is the content, the main content block, and then each, Virginia mentioned the up to 2 hours can be customized. You also create your own, also, I don't want to say branding, but your own landing page and images that would assure the learner that they're in the right place. And then what other part of that is part of your question there about how is,
well, I just was hoping that maybe we could see like what are some of the topics.
Yes, I'm showing.
Oh yes,
that.
we're going to do that.
Yes,
Yes,
we're going to go
perfect.
walking.
I got plenty of questions. So
Okay, you
right.
keep, good. Feed me. Good. So
Yes. Go
yeah.
ahead. Oh, definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes. So the just for everyone online.
I don't know, I'm just curious to learn more about that.
Yes.
I'm curious about this to streamline the process for onboarding supervisors, but also providing support. For
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, for example, to your question, and we'll show you that a little bit more in a slide, but there's a section at the top for institution. They can put in anything they want about the institution. There's a section underneath that for program, for specific programs. You can have as much as you want in either one of those. And so some people really go to town and they've got their logos of the university. And I mean, it's, you know, it's beautiful and all this kind of stuff. But you could have, like bare bones, you could have different links. If you are an on-site supervisor, if you're, click here. If you're a university supervisor, click here. I mean, if you wanted to do it that way. Now, the content of the course, like the topics and stuff like that, you really can't change. Yeah.
So for example, the adult learning theory and coaching adult learning, that's
yeah,
big rock, big portion of.
Yes. Well, I know on our campus, so the secondary and elementary people, I'm in the special ed department, but the secondary and elementary have been using it for several years now. And they have everybody, all right, pre-pandemic, they had one big meeting per semester, and they would have everybody come onto campus. Okay. Then during the pandemic, they didn't do it that way. They did it virtually. And I'm not really sure if they're going to go back or when they're going to go back to having it on campus. And then in between, there are lots of communication between the different groups, but they brought them, my point is they brought them all together.
And one thing, it's a little early to talk about this, but when we look at the work going forward and we think about our education specialist credentials, and so might an institution have not for the same price, we think, but might they have 2 courses? So might you even, if there's so much robust content that you want to have, might you then have a more customized course? Maybe that's a 3rd course. Like, so you have this, then you have, if there were a focus on ed specialists, but then the platform is still there for you.
Hi
Here's
there.
someone.
Is there someone who'd like to ask a question, or should? No? Okay.
I think it might be, is it Grace?
Sorry,
So
Melissa, could you say what the platform is? Like Thinkify
it is
or-
not. Grace is going to help me remember.
Course Network.
Course Network.
Course
Net.
Network.
Mhm.
CN.
Yeah.
We go to cn.com.
And wonderful. They've been,
Oh, yeah.
oh my gosh, so supportive. And I'm going to repeat something that Virginia said. So the fee just really barely, it doesn't, right now we're covering our expenses for the platform and and they've been wonderful. We really haven't seen an increase. We don't know with inflation and everything whether that might go up, but you're getting quite the deal for that amount. So
yeah.
So, okay, so let me go ahead in the room. Let me go to this next slide and let me do that for our other colleagues online. So this was just a screenshot, but I think it answers a couple of the questions about how is this structured.
Yes.
So,
Okay. Yeah, and then if I could go to the other one later, that has the.
Yes, I need to switch
I know,
slide decks here in a minute.
Yeah, you got it. Good. All right. So in addition to other parts of the course, we ask everybody, all the completers at the bottom of when they get to the end and they get their certificate of completion, would they please complete a whole survey? And so that has been assembled. We're doing, Keith, one of our members, is heading the, looking at that data and putting into a form that we can, share with everybody. So we're very interested in that. So we want them to, they ask in the survey, which parts did you find helpful? I don't know, Lynn, have you gone to the bottom yet?
I didn't actually open the survey, but I.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I got to that point.
All right,
I
good.
can give feedback. It's just.
I'm going to go
Yeah,
ahead
sure.
and switch
Yeah.
slides in the room so that it
Okay.
coincides with what we have.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Oh, I won't. Okay, let me go back and take care of that. So if you want to speak to that, I'll go ahead and I'll change what they have pulled up.
Oh, I see. Okay,
no,
so I'll start
just-
talking about that.
no.
Okay.
Hold on, go ahead. Yes.
What?
Yep, you're right there. That's where our online friends are. I'm going to fix it.
Okay. All righty. So online friends, hi. You are seeing the actual contents of the course. And what Melissa is doing is making sure, oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, there it is. Good. Oh, there it was. Yeah, okay, good. There we go. Thank you. All right. So Melissa just showed you briefly how it's lined up on the left-hand side, and that when you finish, when somebody finishes one of the sections, then they get a little green dot, knowing that they've done that. It is not possible to skip sections. Kind of a built-in thing. So people have to do that. So the first part is the very first part is the course introduction. Now that is pre-made. We can change the wording of that, but for right now, we're sticking with the course introduction, which is what we've been telling you about the purpose and so forth. Then the second part there is institution-specific preparation. And so that's where the institution, your university, your program, excuse me, your university or overall maybe college of education has their information. And only, of course, people from your institution would be seeing the specific one, for your institution. And then the program specific would be if you say elementary ed or, secondary, whatever. Okay.
Next.
So, yeah, and then coaching. So then now we're into the content part. And so the first chunk of content, it's coaching adult learners. You'll recognize that language from the standards. And so under coaching adult learners, the content is introduction to what we mean by that, some of the psychology of coaching adult learners, building relationships. And so that is how important relationships are with your mentees. And how that is central. A little bit of research cited there about how much student teachers and others gain from the relationship with their mentor. Third one, having learning focused conversations. Those of you who've been doing it for a while, you're familiar with this concept. It may have been called different things, but this is how to have those debriefing conversations, even the pre-observation conversations, and how to make them focused on what the student teacher, for example, wants the students to learn, but also what he or she, the student teacher, is hoping to learn from this observation. Court Hagen's core reflection. So this is a very well known, not so much in our country, I'd say, gentleman from the Netherlands. I'm looking at Alan. I know you were involved with that project, and how to do reflections. All right, so teaching how the mentor teachers can be reflective themselves, and then how they can teach their student teachers and so forth to be reflective in a it's deep, but it's like everybody loves it because it's like it really gets to the heart of what people are doing, like not just how many kids were engaged and dying and how was your classroom management. Those are important things, but it's a way of thinking about your practice that we teach. All right, and then reflection number 1. So that is a little assignment. Would you say? I don't know if you, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Self-reflection. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Once
you
you complete it, you get it
back.
Okay. We don't check it.
I'm just curious.
Right. We don't check it. Some institutions would like that also to be sent to them. We wouldn't send it directly to them from there. Yeah, but the institution might ask you to do it, to put that in your portfolio. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We used to do that, but it didn't kind of make sense. You could. I think that would be a lot of work myself. Yeah, but you could. So the 3 main sections, like this coaching adult learners and the other 2, they'll have a reflection kind of about halfway like that. Okay, and then going on to the other 2 topics, guiding candidates' social emotional development. So we're keyed into that idea of, and we heard a lot yesterday actually about in these times how important that is as well. So bringing that in. And then planning for equity. So that is supporting the student teachers and others in making sure that they are teaching in an equitable and accessible way for all their students. And this could be a new way of mentoring that your mentors might have not been thinking about before. And then application. So every section has an application. This particular one is on a scenario where you have a student teacher or a mentee who needs some additional guidance in how to interface with kids who are resistant, let's put it that way. So it's kind of practical, but it also brings in these concepts that are introduced in the earlier sections. All right, so if we could go to the next one, please.
And we lost visual for our folks, but I hope I'm going to look for Alan Hallis to give me a thumbs up. We got it back. Thank you, friend.
Oh, great. All right, second main section, as CTC requires, content-specific pedagogy. So that's introduction to content-specific pedagogy, and that would be basically ELA and math. But you can't add anything to the course. It is structured the way it is structured, but it's the idea of for the mentor teacher how to get familiar with the standards for the content specifics pedagogy. and then content area guidance and supports. Then a reflection there on that. And then classroom technology integration across subject areas, technology integration in practice, introducing the TPAC model, which some of you may be familiar with. It's a model of your subject matter that is goes deep not only into the subject matter, but how to think about the subject matter as you're teaching and supporting a student, teacher, or mentee in using it. I'm saying that very quickly, but it's a marvelous thing. It's been around for a long time. We don't use it as often in California as in other states. That's my experience anyway. But it's an introduction there, and then resources for further exploration. So that is not a obligatory thing. That is something that the mentor teacher could go ahead and look at the resources and gather more information, and then an application assignment, if you will. All righty. Third major part.
Just to
Okay.
comment on
Yes.
it, since I developed that.
Oh, yes,
I
great.
was involved in
That's
developing
right.
the module. We were thinking of, since this is only 2 hours for that section, so we are letting the learners to explore further, you know, explore all those resources. We focus on 9 different content areas, so whoever are, you know, they can explore further. But we were thinking of only just 2 hours.
Okay.
Allocated.
Yeah, I think that's really important to bring forward because Keith and I worked on the adult learning and the coaching adults, and that was, you know, an important adult learners being self-guided. So how to meet requirements, but also make it meaningful. And when we start talking about our new work that maybe, well, we'll have to know what we're doing by this summer, I guess, in order to get it launched.
Yeah.
You know, how do we provide that for our ed specialist credential programs?
Right.
So,
right.
And then just to let you know, we do have a few questions in the chat, so
Okay.
I know that we need to get to that part for our audience.
Yeah. All right. So I'll just quickly say the third major part, again, CTC standard, instructional practices, going into MTS. So this is a part that has more recent, wouldn't you say, Grace? More recent parts to it. And I know I contributed some of the content for this one. So a multi-tiered system of support, what that is, how that works, universal design for learning, social emotional learning, differentiated instruction, which is kind of the basis of universal design for learning, ed equity in general, so some strategies there, and then reflection exercise and an application assignment, basically. Okay, and then there's the feedback one that we ask the users to give us feedback, and then the course completion, the certificate. Again, this is all for the mentor, teacher, the on-site supervisor people. Even though we call them students, it's the grown-ups in the room. All righty. Questions about that real, and then we'll move on to the next part.
So how is there any way that we can take a look at the sample of what the course would look
Yeah,
like
we can
before we like invest?
Oh
in
yeah,
it?
absolutely. We can
Okay.
we can log in.
Okay.
You have your credential, you have your login.
I do.
Okay.
I do. Okay. Yeah.
Just curious.
Sure. Yeah, and I'm wondering also from your question if we should just make paragraphs or something of the main things that are in them. But anyway, that's for a future project. But well, we could do that, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So
okay.
Okay, so let's please.
Question. One of the things that we all have in common are the actual TPEs. And we find that that's something we're introducing the mentor teachers to and the supervisors to. Is that in this course?
Not specifically, not specifically. And that would be something that we would encourage, well, at this point, the programs or the institution, if they wanted to do it in those components up there.
2 hours. You have
2 hours.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Sure. And that's what we
Yeah.
do. I mean, we all do it, but
Okay.
I'm like, but we're all doing it in the whole state. It would be something that could be consistently done in a module like this,
It could,
You
or
know?
it could even go in the intro or something like that.
like just a link to the TPEs.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Or even just, whatever sections are covering what TEs.
Oh.
This concept, you know, between the multiple subject, the universals, and then the ed specialist, the universals and mild mods in our case.
Yes.
But like that concept, I think is really important for supervisors.
Yes,
Yeah.
and to see it. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and mentor teachers.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. What, Sarah?
I said, oh, the extra 90.
The extra 9.
Other comments or welcome, folks? No. All right. So do you
Okay,
should we go
so
on to this or?
I think we should,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
there, I
So-
think that's, yeah.
Is that okay?
Uh-huh.
All right. So speaking of ed specialists, these are some suggestions for the ed specialists since it's new to us. Okay, so we have to, start our new programs or redesign programs in the fall. And one of the new things is, besides TPA, we never had a TPA before. The other new thing is this training of mentor teachers and coaches and so forth. Okay, so what to do with the additional 2 hours? One idea is to add the assessments, to add their, programs can add their evaluation forms. I mean, nobody else is going to see it, right, in other programs or anything like that. These are just for their program. So they could put their, the evaluation forms that they use if they want to. They could put, they could do that kind of thing. All right, high leverage practices that in general, what high leverage practices are is an introduction. That's the link to the high leverage practices in special education. There's also a high leverage practices book in general, but this is the one that we use in special education, high leverage practices. That's put out by Council for Exceptional Children. Then the CSU website, inclusive practices, anybody can use this. Doesn't have to be people in the CSU, but there is a website that was put up last year and out of the Chancellor's office. And we call it the CSU website. It's been worked on for several years. It has lots and lots of resources in all these different areas. Lots of different areas, like subject area, like English language arts and math and so forth. Lots of different areas. And then recently we added a part to it through a CEDAR project that focuses on clinical practice. Okay, so now I should have put the link there, shouldn't I have? Yes, okay. All right, so I will, oh, that's it. I'm sorry, it is it. It's the next dot below it. And try not to use the word bullets. Okay, it's the next dot under CSU website, inclusive practices, that one that says, yeah, okay. So what we,
go ahead. No,
well, just going to briefly, so what we did for the clinical practice part is we aligned the TPEs with the high leverage practices, and then we put resources. A lot of them come from something called IRIS. Some of you may be familiar with. Anyway, different resources for how to teach about those areas. And
were those the universal TPEs or the ed specialists?
Both.
And the mild mod and
yes. And then preparation for TPA, we put that there. We don't want that to be the focus personally. We don't want that to be the focus of the what the mentor teacher does, but still they're involved in that process, with the program. Yeah. Okay, so those are suggestions, and any suggestions you have, like your wonderful suggestion. Tell me your first name again. John. Would be good. TPE suggestion, all of that.
I think another good resource is Council for Exceptional Children, the brand new standards for teacher preparation.
Yeah, that's true. I'll put those
That
up.
would just be a good idea.
Yeah. They want people to pay for that?
No, they're
That's
available.
they're on their
available.
website.
I
Okay,
think
yeah.
you can- I just got something about they want people to apply for accreditation.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is.
So that might
That's
be
what it is.
That might be where the fee
But
comes
the
in.
standards are good,
Yeah.
I think, and they're available.
Good, good. Thank you.
So I think we're going to switch over and go live into the platform here in a minute. But what we need to do, I'll put in the chat. We need to make sure everyone has our emails. Of course, you can find that through the organization. But when we go into the platform live here in a minute, you know, the development takes a while. So as a committee, as you heard us say, we kind of divided up into those three main areas of who worked on which sections, but going forward for any of the other additions. So we probably need to start getting and hearing your voices now about what, not just what's required, but what would be nice to have in, I'll call them new modules, just my language, so that we then can give some direction that would be most helpful to you all. So that's why I want to make sure we've got the email. So I'll go ahead and in the chat, I'll put my email, and then
handing around a piece of paper.
Oh, okay. And Virginia's using paper. That'll work too. So either way, we're going to get you. But let me go ahead and do that in the chat. And then probably if you would, let's see, we have to log you in on my device
to do.
So yeah, because you're not screen sharing from your device, are you? But you could. Okay,
so.
Okay, let me take care of the chat. I'm going to stop sharing for a minute. We're going to switch over.
Yes, I know. How analog, huh?
Okay, so there is. Sorry, there's some round table jokes going around about pen collecting and paper. So sorry, folks. Okay, so what Virginia's going to do is she's going to log in to the CN, and then we're going to switch over. I stop sharing, she'll start sharing, and we can show a little bit more concrete for you.
All right.
No, most of the questions in chat were a few minutes ago about Ed Specialist.
Okay. Oh, now how do, so I'm going to screen share on this?
You're going to screen share here.
Yeah. Okay. Come back to this, come back to this.
Perfect.
Okay. So, oh, now what happens?
Hold on.
Oh, okay. So this
I'm not going to be able to do it there, but I'll do it here. Okay. So you're sharing for Zoom, and I'll share for the table.
Okay, so Zoomers can see this now, and table people can see Melissa's.
Sarah, are you in? Do you have an account?
All right.
I can move here. Okay. Would you like to shift so that you can see it? Yeah.
Okay. So, let's see, Amber.
I can just stand behind you.
Okay. The this is what I see, and I'm considered a what are we considered, committee member. So I have more things on here than other people would have. But you would, if you become the instructor for your program, meaning that you're the one that is setting up maybe the institution information, the program information, with help from your colleagues, of course. And then you're the one that's telling the mentor teachers how to get in and kind of keeping track of that. You don't have to grade, and they are supposed to give you, you tell them where to put the completion certificate, you know, if portfolio, email it to them, you know, whatever you tell them to do. Okay, and let's see here. It doesn't let me go into the content too much because it says that instructors are not allowed to take the, to go in. Let's see. What would you like me to show? Let's see if I can show public view. There we go. All right, there we go.
Can I ask a clarifying question?
Yes.
So the content is a collection of like textual descriptions, links to resources, and links to external videos, but you didn't create your own videos.
Right.
Okay.
Right. That would be a skill set that we didn't approach yet. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and there's
Right.
so much good content out there. Why wouldn't you? Yeah. I just wanted to make sure, like in my head, when I'm envisioning what they would see, you know,
Yes.
how the course would flow for them.
Okay.
Could you go into courses maybe?
And you said they cannot skip over that.
Right, it
Have to
is.
go from one to the next consecutive.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
And does it kind of keep track of your finish off or?
Yes.
Okay.
In order to get the completion certificate, they have to follow
Do
us.
all of it.
But they
Yeah.
can step out of the environment
So
if
it's
something takes
Yeah.
them off.
Oh, yeah,
It
yeah.
keeps
So you
track.
kind of like keep track.
It's
Oh,
not like,
I've
oh,
been-
now
I've
I've
been to
gotta-
this video.
Like if there's 3 out of 5 and they're only on item 2,
Right.
yeah, they can come back in.
Grace, what do you, I'm not getting any into the course. I mean, it says courses I've taken because I've taken the whole thing. Any idea? Well,
Can you log in as a new person?
She'll
Do
be
you
able
have the course again?
I wonder.
I'm
Log.
gonna do it again. It was so fun. I learned so much. I want to know it again.
Let's try. Well, let's see. Visitor tracking. Am I considered a visitor? Yeah. It's doesn't look it.
Can you, what if you go up to courses up there, what happens?
Let's see. Oh.
So I'm curious.
Oh, yeah, I'll go
I
here.
think-
Yeah. I'll
yeah.
go to 22, right.
Okay.
All right, very good, thank you.
Sorry.
That's all right. And that's true. We have different versions now, so the.
There we
well,
go.
yeah, there we go. Woohoo. Okay.
Okay, so, and then let's just tell Virginia what you'd like to see.
So the 2s, 3s, what does that stand for?
And the people at home can hear you, so if you want to say it louder. No, I mean, if you want to say.
So go ahead and click, go ahead on, so you can see the first part is the institution specific, but let's go to program specific prep. Okay,
So this is a message that the mentor teacher would see. The program with whom you are working may provide additional information here. If not, please continue. So far, programs have really taken advantage of that. And some of them are quite quite full.
Robust.
Yeah. And then others are more to the point kind of thing. Yeah.
so go ahead and just hit next, just so we can see the,
All right.
what the.
Okay. And then
so
this is the
here's how
first.
Content presents itself to the learner. So it's not as visually heavy as, like, if you're familiar with Canvas, perhaps, depends on our LMSs are all different, but it almost always has a graphic and a supporting right here. So some content, some anchoring content, if you will, and then the true learning content. So can you just scroll,
Right. So then, yeah, a little description of the content, the learning objectives for that section, the little video. And this is a YouTube one, so it is captioned already. Yeah. And that's,
go ahead and hit next.
and there we go. Next part is called building relationships. And we call it, in the course, we call it examining needed interpersonal relationship skills. And that is a narrated video. I mean, a narrated PowerPoint, excuse me. It's a narrated PowerPoint by Keith, one of our committee
And
members.
this is the part, I've got to check my progress, that the captioning, this is what we're working on, some of these getting.
Exactly.
Making sure that we are
Yes.
compliant and accessible.
Yes.
So this work in progress right now.
Yes, we have
particularly
one done.
One, oh, is that what we have? One?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks, Grace.
Yeah.
Good job.
All right. Next part of the, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, so I know that you said that there's a lot of resources. Are they all web-based, or are they some of them PDFs, things that they can actually print and take away?
A few, wouldn't you say a
Yeah,
few?
some of them are PDF, some of them web-based, so you can download it or whatever.
So not that
We oughta
any of our mentor teachers would ever do this. However, have you perhaps stumbled upon some where they just kind of click through and just?
Yeah, that would
and
be
then do-
fine, as long as they can complete
But if
the
they just
assignment.
literally do nothing, and because if we're not reading it.
You
then
mean
how
like
do we know?
they could go jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle bells?
But they won't know that we are not reading it, so.
Yeah, that's
I'm-
true.
I would never say that. But, you know, I would never say that we're not reading it. But again, it's possible.
It is possible. This is why some programs choose to have the applications, you know, the 3 different exercises at the end of those major sections to be copied to their program,
Okay.
to the instructor, you know, the person, the head of it. Yeah.
But you can have a synthesizing assignment.
Yeah.
As a
Oh,
part
that's
of the program overview or
Yeah.
whatever requirement. So it will be depending on the program.
Good questions,
I think
good
we have to
questions.
wrap it up.
So I think, is our time, are we okay?
It's
I think we-
8:30.
I think we have a little bit more time.
Yeah.
Give us contact information where we can, check those in order to,
So I'll
perhaps
give you mine
invest
right
in this.
now. Mine's short, mhall@rcoe.us. And Virginia's is just a little bit longer.
Yeah. Everybody, thank you, sir.
You bet. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll get it for you here in a second. Okay, I am,
And then mine, oh, you already did yours.
I gave him mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Virginia, Virginia. I just say that because a lot of people leave out the third I. Dot, and then Kennedy, Kennedy at CSUN.edu.
Okay, and I'm gonna check.
Dot CSUN for Northridge, yeah. .edu.
All right, and then I'm gonna check the chat again. I haven't seen anything come through. I don't want to cold call anyone. Lori or Alan Hallis, did you have something in the chat about ed specialists? I want to make sure to answer that question that came up earlier.
And thank you all.
Yeah, hi Virginia, it's Lori. Yeah, I did put a question in the chat about ed specialists, and I think you all answered it. My question was basically, will there be content that the committee creates, or is this something that we have to think about creating for our own program?
Yeah, we think we're going to be creating it, and that was my point.
Yes.
I didn't make it well or clearly, but that we need to hear from others. But yes, we have plans to do so, but we can't promise that it's the one course price. That's what we still, as a committee, have to talk about, that feasibility. Does that make sense, Lori?
Yeah, that does make sense. Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Lori. Yeah, we're thinking
Hi,
of,
Virginia.
would it actually be like one university or one program could have two or three different courses that focus on, but we haven't really,
But
I
it
mean,
will
that-
be there.
It's conceptual at this point, yes. I mean, the idea, of course, we want special ed, general ed, we want everybody to be, having the same skills and doing things together, of course, but then maybe it makes sense for some aspects to be specialized.
Customized,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Are there other questions from our Zoom friends, our virtual friends? I'm trying to read the virtual room. All right.
Let's see.
Patty, anything else as a committee member? No.
Not that I can think of. Thank you. You guys covered everything very well. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Sorry.
I'll put
So
my email
our
in.
logistics here as far as in the room, and so apologize for that. Had a little wrinkle with the tech this morning, so sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, well, with that, then you have our contact information, both mine and Virginia's, and we will be working hard to make progress and also to be getting the word out about the progress.
Yes.
So, all right, well, we thank you so much. Oh, Diana, thank you. Yep, we look forward to learning more and sharing more. Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, Lori.
Bye, everybody. Have a good day.
Thank you, Alan. Take care.